Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another edition of my Blu-ray Pickups Haul Update. Got another huge stack of movies, from classic ones to new releases and whatnot. But first, I want to talk about this new film called Girls Trip, starring Regina Hall, Jada Pinkett Smith, Queen Latifah. And I thought this film was okay. It's more of a, it's a chick flick, so girls will appreciate this more than I did. But I liked it for what it was. It's about a group of friends who haven't seen each other for like 5 years. So they decided, get together and head off on a trip to New Orleans and, hang out and kind of talk about what they've been up to and flirt around with guys and whatnot. So it was pretty funny. Certain moments I'm like, it's a bit cheesy or whatever, but for what it was okay. So with this edition, you get, several special features. You get deleted scenes with commentary, outtakes, planning the trip featurette, the essence of Nola, and much more. And you get a commentary track by the director Malcolm Lee. And picture and audio is pretty solid for this release. I'm going to rate this one 4.5 out of 5 for both. So yeah, it's really decent looking black levels, and sharpness is pretty much maintained throughout with small hints of softness here and there. But yeah, this is also kind of like a mini reunion for Jada Pinkett and Queen Latifah, because the last film they appeared together was way back in 1996 in Set It Off, if you remember that one, which was a pretty good, bank robbery movie. So anyway, do check this one out, guys, if you're a fan of, chick flicks or whatever. And, if you're a girl, I'm sure you already seen this film. It's definitely worth a pickup if you're into chick flicks. The next film I got is Blood Feast, which is re-released as a standalone edition by Arrow Video, which also includes the film Scum of the Earth. So you get two films on one disc. And this was originally released last year as part of the big, beautiful box set that Arrow put out, the Herschell Gordon Lewis collection, which included all of his cult classic films. So this is a B-movie slasher film from the 1960s, and the story is about this caterer who's getting ready to cook up this huge meal for this party, and all the folks at the party have no idea that their caterer happens to be a murderer who goes on a killing spree of, chopping up bodies. So it has a lot of blood and gore and that the whole 60s vibe perfectly. But I don't want to spoil it for you, but there's actually a reason as to why he's going out there and, chopping up bodies. But yeah, it's a fun movie, man. Movie obviously you don't take seriously, but this feature has a lot of special features going. You get archive interviews, vintage featurettes and whatnot, and aspect ratio, by the way, is 1:85. And this happens to be a region-free disc, so that's always great for the folks in the UK. And also included is a DVD copy. And as far as my thoughts on the presentation for both films, I'm going to rate it a 3 out of 5 for Blood Feast, and Scum of the Earth, I'm going to rate that one a 2.5 out of 5, because there's obvious signs of, print damage and whatnot. And audio track is okay for both releases. I mean, they're older films. But for the audio, I'm going to rate for both of them a 3.5 out of 5. Anyway, that is Blood Feast, put out by Arrow Video. Alrighty, so let me show you guys the rest of my pickups. Got the re-release edition of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, one of my favorites from the 1980s. And basically, this one's just re-released because it's celebrating its 30th anniversary, so it says so on a sticker too. And it's the same picture and audio quality as the previous release that I believe came out in 2012, and also same special features. But yeah, it's an older master that they used for the picture on this one. So I'm going to rate that a 3 out of 5 and a 4 out of 5 for the audio track. So there you have it with the digital code. But yeah, if you've never seen this one, do check it out. It's just Steve Martin and John Candy at their best. And unfortunately, John Candy passed at a young age, but he was such a great actor. One of my favorites. Of course, do check out Only the Lonely if you've never seen that one as well. And of course, The Great Outdoors with Dan Aykroyd. So if you also remember, he was in the original Home Alone. He had a small role in that one. Anyway, that is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. The next film I picked up is Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, the 4K release, of course. And I like this one a lot. I thought it was a lot better than the previous one on Stranger Tides. And what is this now, the 5th film from this franchise? And I believe they might make a 6th one too. But if you haven't seen this one yet, do check it out. Yeah, the picture and audio is just absolutely superb for this 4K release. And I think this is also the second film that Disney put out on 4K. The first one, of course, is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. My next pickup is The Surfer's Bible, man, The Endless Summer, one of my favorite films of all time. And this isn't a documentary, but it is kind of in that style. It's, narrated throughout and just incredibly well shot. And, this came out in 1966. And yeah, this is the re-release edition, but this one is exclusive to UK. It's not available here in the States, but it's region free, and all the special features are region free too. So you get a lot of great, features, bonus material for this one. You also get the Endless Summer Revisited, but that one is unfortunately region B blocked. All the rest of the features are, of course, with the feature-length film, is region free. But yeah, they got the deluxe edition of this one too, with lobby cars and also the DVD copy. But I just went ahead with this one. So if you've never seen this one, do check it out. This is just incredibly well made, and I can't say enough about this one. They of course made the Endless Summer 2 in I believe in 1994, and his son, Bruce Brown's son, went off and directed a bunch of other surfer films. But this is the one I've always went back to because I just really like this one, and it's shot in several continents around the world, from Australia to Africa. They went off to New Zealand, and of course California, Malibu, Santa Barbara. Yeah, this is just a total blast. Moving along, my next pickup is one of my all-time favorites, and that is Michael Douglas and Falling Down. And what a amazing performance by him in this one. And even Douglas loves this film so much, he's mentioned it in several interviews that this is his personal favorite from all the movies that he made, and I really don't blame him for that. And when that Vegas incident happened recently, where nearly 60 people died and I believe nearly 500 people got wounded, the first thing that came to mind was this film, and it really exemplifies what that guy was like, that psychotic guy that did that, to all those innocent people. And this movie holds up pretty well, and just showcases what the state of mind in today's society is like. And it's a really nasty thing, of course, because people think is this normal human being. He's living a humble life, going to work 9 to 5, and something ticks him off, and he goes on this crazy rampage. And yeah, if you've seen this film, you really know what I'm talking about. That liquor scene where he gets pissed off. He's trying to buy a can of soda, and it's like 85 cents or whatever it is, and that pisses him off that, because of inflation, everything's becoming more and more expensive, and life's not becoming cheaper. And I really like that scene where he's sitting on some cement, and these gangbangers come up, and he's like, hey, that's our turf, you got to get the hell out of there. And he whips out a baseball bat and beats the crap out of him. But yeah, really great film. And yeah, I got this for a really cheap price. So it's a digibook edition. I'm not a fan of digibooks, but I got this for $6.50. So you could get this as a standalone edition too, but I believe this digibook is out of print. I got this from a third party. Anyway, that is Falling Down. The next film I got is a classic called The Seawolf, starring Edward G. Robinson, Ida Lupino, and John Garfield. And this was actually just released by the Archive Collection over at Warner Brothers. And gotta applaud them, man. They've been releasing these classics and really nice looking picture and sound. And has special features and whatnot. And yeah, this is one that I've never seen, but heard a lot of great stuff about it. And can't go wrong with Edward G. Robinson. So that is the Seawolf. The next movie I got is a film noir classic starring the great Barbara Stanwyck and George Sanders and Witness to Murder. And yeah, I like Barbara's performance of this one. She really, kept my interest. And a lot of people say, oh, this movie is copying Rear Window. But actually, this movie came out before Rear Window did. So how could it, copy that? But it is very similar in style and, certain aspects of the tone of the movie. So yeah, this is released by Kino. But yeah, it's definitely worth the purchase. But yeah, unfortunately, you don't get any special features with this release. My next pickup is another classic from the Archive Collection, and this one is Susan Slept Here, starring Dick Powell and Debbie Reynolds. And yeah, this is Dick Powell's last feature-length film, because he went off and did a bunch of TV stuff, and then sadly after that he passed away. Of course, the late great Debbie Reynolds, who was Carrie Fisher's mom, and of course from Singing in the Rain and a bunch of other movies that she did. And I got this really cool autograph by Debbie Reynolds, and she's actually photographed holding the stuff that she autographed for me. So that was pretty cool, and I'll share that sometime in one of my updates in the future. But yeah, this is just a really quirky, funny movie. And yeah, this is a bit underrated, but yeah, it's definitely worth a pickup if you can find it for like around $14 or whatever. Anyway, that is Susan Slept Here. My next pickup is another classic, and this one stars the great Ernest Borgnine and Marty, which ended up winning several Academy Awards in 1955, including Best Picture. And yeah, I've always loved this film. I've seen it countless times on TCM, and it's just one of those movies where you only want to watch a few minutes and you end up watching the whole thing. And it's about this humble man that he's sad and lonely, no girls giving him a chance, until he meets somebody that he sees himself being with for the future. Yeah, so this is put out by Kino. Unfortunately, no special features. The next film I got is another classic. Boy, I'm on the roll with these classic ones. And this one is Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, starring the great Sidney Poitier and the late, great Spencer Tracy. And this film was very controversial when it first came out because of, what this premise is about. It's about this, black man being with this white girl. And yeah, this was released in the 1960s. So, it was a really tough era for the United States because, blacks versus whites and, the civil rights movement and all that. And, Martin Luther King. But I've always liked this film and just really well written. And yeah, this is released by Sony as well. Of course, this is the Twilight Time edition. But I went ahead with this one because it features, a commentary track, which the Sony release did not include. But it does include, the same picture and audio quality. And my last two pickups for this week is the musical Grease, the Rock and Rydell edition. I got this for $4, used copy. And last but not least, Love in the Afternoon, starring Gary Cooper and Audrey Hepburn. And this film was also, controversial because of the age gap. It was a love story, and the age gap was pretty extreme between Gary Cooper and Audrey Hepburn. And at first, they actually wanted Cary Grant to, be in this movie, but he read the script and said, "Hey, no way, man! I'm too old to be in that type of movie." So Gary Cooper accepted. So yeah, this is released by the Archive Collection. So anyway, guys, that's my latest pickups for this week. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon in the next one. Take care.